What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Okay, Queen Sugar. Far too long. Season 1, episode 12. Starts out with Ralph Angel sitting at his desk and he working on a couple of 2-3 things, and we see Hollywood there, Hollywood on the phone with somebody. He giving it to him. He arguing back and forth. Come to find out, this is the law firm or law office that he has paid to expedite his divorce, because he feels like as soon as he gets this divorce, then everything gonna be gravy between him and Vi. So he got to get this divorce done. And when we panned away from Ralph Angel and we see the Hollywood on the phone chit chatting or going off on the law, I was just thinking to myself, ooh, if Ralph Angel don't look just like Ernest Bordelon. And it made me, for that little moment, miss Papa Bordelon. I ain't gonna lie. I had a low-key crush on Papa Bordelon. So seeing Ralph Angel sitting there looking all chocolate and delicious, just like Papa Bordelon, was everything I needed it to be. So, pan away, Hollywood's arguing, comes back. Hollywood's telling him about, who he was talking to on the phone. And he said, man, looking at you sitting behind that desk, you look just like your daddy. And you look worried just like your daddy, too. And, they talk about some of the things that Ralph Angel is worried about, like how we going to fix this whole meal situation. Then we see Ralph Angel making a phone call. He calling Charlie. Charlie look at the phone call and swipe him off to the left. Send him straight to voicemail. And Charlie is with Remy at an old rundown mill. And it's her idea to get this meal up and going and making it their own meal. Well, Remy tells her, that's going to take 6 months. By that time, your harvest will already be in and you will have lost it all. And she said, no, we can get it up and running before then. He's trying to tell her, no. You talking about buying this meal? How much is the meal? The Boudreaux or the Landrys, one of them offered to own the $8 million, but he tell Charlie if she can come up with $9 million, that she can have it. He said, you mean, wait. Remy said, you mean $9 million? And she's like, yeah, where you gonna get that kind of money from, Charlie? Well, you don't even have the money. You couldn't even get the loan because of the Boudreaux and the Landrys. And she's like, I may possibly have an investor. And Remy's like, may possibly. She thinks she can get the owner of the Stingers to invest in this property. Now, it's a part of me feel like, do you really think the owner of the Stingers don't know the largest cane producers in the state of Louisiana? Come on, Charlie. Come on now. I ain't gonna say what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking it. Good and gut. It's okay. Anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. You really think the owner of the Stingers don't know the Boudreaux or the Landrys? You think the Boudreaux and the Landrys don't have box seats at the Stingers arena? Come. Okay, let's move on. So Remy asked her, "Is this about revenge?" No, it's not about revenge. She's saying, he's thinking like a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I'm a business owner. And he says, you talking about taking on giants. And he says a lot of farmers have tried to go this route. They've tried to take on Goliath and lost. And she said, I ain't never scared. And I admire her for that, but at the same time, I think Charlie being a little foolhardy too, a little naive. You know what I mean? She want him to throw a potluck with all the other farmers and see if she can get all of them to come in on it and then help them get this mill up and running. And Remy said, oh, okay, well, I'm feeling a little used. I see now what all you want me for is, to help you out with this whole farming situation. And she's like, Remy, no. And he's like, well, if you ain't using me, then you gonna have dinner with me um tonight. She like, is this a date? And he was like, wine and dinner tonight. Yes, yes, it is. It's a date. And she's like, okay. So then we see Kiki and Micah. And he she wants to know if he wants to come over for dinner and meet Boogie. Boogie want him to come over for dinner. And he was like, oh, you want me to come over for dinner? So does this mean that we go together? She's like, well, I mean, yeah, aren't we? And he's like, well, I guess, but wait. Why do I need to come over and meet Boogie? And she's like, have you ever dated a black girl before? And he's like, uh, uh. The answer is no. And she was like, I'm from the South. You got to come over so my father can properly shake you down, threaten you, check you out, see if you dumb as a bag of bricks. If you just after my honey box, this is how we do it down here. Well, he asked her, he blasted off and asked her why she called, if Boogie's her dad, why she called him by his first name, his nickname, Boogie. And she said, well, Boogie's my stepfather. I never knew my real father. And she asked about his dad, Davis. And he's, obviously he's got a lot of anger towards Davis for being with prostitutes and mistreating his mom and, just being a completely different than who he thought he was all this time. And I was proud of Kiki. Kiki told him his dad loves him and that he should try and understand. And he gets a little snippy with her about it, and she was like, oh, you know. And he apologized, and she said, "Don't apologize for saying what you feel," which I liked. He want her to come over, and she's like, no, I got to get my education. I got to study for calculus." He's like, "Well, I can help you study for calculus," and she's like, and they smooch on out. So let me just say this: I was okay with Kiki during this scene. I appreciate the fact that she seemed like she understood why he was upset with his father, although I have a problem with him talking so much about what's going on and telling her so much about what's going on. I don't know, it bothers me. Maybe that's because I grew up in a house where what went on in that house stayed in their house. I don't know. I just feel like he don't need to be talking about it so much, in my opinion, outside of his core family. That's just my opinion. But I also like the fact that she didn't chop his dad up with him. She tried to encourage him to to follow the route of forgiveness and peace. And I like the fact that she wanted to get her schoolwork. She was all about her schoolwork and not about them boys. Okay. And so I'm on the fence with Kiki. She give me a little sass, but she seemed like she might be a responsible person, which isn't that the average teenager? Like average, yeah, right? They good kids, right? Anyway, so then we see Charlie over, um, waiting on to talk to the owner of the Stingers, and Nova called. She got Ralph Angel with her. They in Nova's greenhouse. And Ralph Angel, she's like, hey, I got Ralph Angel here. Um he's got a really, really good idea. You want to hear it? And she's like, but I don't really have time right now for y'all small talk. And she's like, no, 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 he's got a good idea. Let's hear it. Speakerphone. Ralph Angel's like, oh, I'm glad to see you picking up. Okay. And so he hits her with the idea, hey, I talked to um a guy I know who's got refrigerated trucks that will help us get the cane to this mill in St. Joseph's. And she's like, I'm figuring this out, Ralph. And he's like, no, listen, let me just tell you. And it'll keep the cane from crystallizing. Of course, we're gonna have to pay um for the rental of the trucks and the diesel. It's not gonna be cheap, but it's a really, really good option. And she's like, I don't need you to worry about all this, Ralph Angel. I got this. I got this. I'm going to get this done. You don't need to worry about it. Just let me handle this, please. Hangs up. That was so disrespectful, Charlie. I'm disappointed in you. I am. I'm disappointed. Especially since you guys sat down a little while ago and really, really heard between Aunt Vi and Prosper how your family was able to, despite being killed off and harassed, how your family was able to come together and stand against the Landrys. And for you now to think you're going to spearhead this whole thing and you're not going to need your family, it's an oversight on your part, okay? And all sense ain't in one head, Charlie. I'm disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed in Charlie and his behavior. And I feel like it just came from nowhere, out of nowhere. She just done forgot all about it. And she done took the ball and she running down the field. She don't care nothing about, no, like I can't believe she hung up. Ralph Angel said, well, at least she picked up and you know how Charlie is. If it ain't her idea, it ain't a good idea. Okay, so now remember, I was thinking second or third episode when Charlie came in from her dad's property and Ralph Angel and Nova was there. It felt like that Ralph Angel and Nova had this alliance that Charlie wasn't necessarily a part of. But I see why now they seem like they have that alliance. It's because Charlie tends to be headstrong, and in this scene, she's coming across to me as a know-it-all, and like she wants to be the hero. Mm. But don't we all have a little bit of that? Like that's something you have to kind of stay on yourself with and monitor, especially if you're an ambitious person and you're a fixer, a person that just likes to make everything better. You have to be careful that you're not overshadowing and shushing and dismissing other people's ideas, um, and being a team player. I don't like it, Charlie. I don't like it, and I'm gonna look for it in my own behavior too. Okay, so Nova tells Ralph Angel that was a really, really good idea. Excellent idea, Ralph Angel, and I'm proud of you. And Ralph Angel says thank you. Let me tell y'all something. I'm low key just a little bit being turned on by Ralph Angel's voice. To me, the southernness of it, the texture of it fluctuates, and something about that voice, I don't know. Yeah. Um. So then we see Charlie inside the meeting with the Stinger owner, and she's in full borderline charm. She accepts a drink from him. Let me get it neat. You know, she know how to play with with the boys, with the big boys, and she tells ask him, what about Davis? Have you considered? Do you wanna pursue this? And he's like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's gonna come down. And she said, well, you never know till you ask. And he said, well, he honestly, he's not as great by himself as he is with Felix. Him and Felix together are a good team. And she's saying, are you courting Felix? And he's like, I got a meeting with him tomorrow. Let's see what he's gonna say. And she's like, okay. Well, why don't I set up a meeting with you and Davis? And he says, I'm gonna be honest with you, Charlie. I don't think you had the authority or the approval to act on Davis's behalf. And she's like, he's my husband. Okay, that gives me the authority. I am the authority. So she convinces him. She tells him, listen, let me go. He said, well, you don't have to rush off. And she says, no, because obviously I got something to prove to you, and I'm gonna go do it. And this is a perfect opportunity for me to show you what I can do. And she leaves out. I don't like this, Charlie. I don't like this, Charlie. Ralph Angel, we see him. He looking out the window, looking over all the cane land, and you can hear Dollar in the background talking to Blue, and she comes in, and Dollar say, "Hey, I didn't hear you come in." He tells her, he just goes in about Charlie. About the cane. It ain't her idea. She ain't treating me right, and I don't appreciate it, and she won't even listen. And woo 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 woo. He just drags Charlie good to Darla, and Darla says, "You're the one running this place. You the one taking all the risks. You up from sun up to sundown working this farm, and your daddy will be proud of you. I'm proud of you." She kisses him, and I got a sneaky suspicion Ralph Angel gonna do something dumb. Now, I'm not saying his idea is not a good idea. I think his idea is a great idea. But if you don't work with your sisters and Remy and whomever else can help you, and it all turns to a flop, then a good idea at the wrong time is the wrong idea. It's a bad idea. So he needs to go and talk to Charlie and Nova together. He needs to have that conversation the same way he went to Aunt Vi and spoke to her, and so on and so forth. He needs to put his big boy pants on and find Charlie, get Nova, and sit him down and talk to him and speak with authority. There's nothing wrong with that. But you talking to Darla about it don't change nothing, Ralph Angel. And Darla, I'm gonna tell you something. Causing dissension inside of a family is only gonna lead to your destruction. I promise you. hear him out, support him, but at the same time, you can't dog Charlie. You can't dog Nova. It ain't a good look. I don't like Darla no more. Oh, I don't care for Darla no more. And this behavior, I'm sorry. Now you saw what Kiki did, right? This was an opportunity for Darla to do that too. And still support Rap Angel. But what do you do, Darla? What do you do? Okay. Um, so we see Charlie calling Leanne, who is Felix's wife. They both played. That's Davis's partner, the one he played good together with. Um, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we staying down here. I have a sister that lives here." And will you staying with your sister? And she's like, "No, we staying at the W." She's like, "Okay, good. We can have lunch. We can have drinks." And she's like, "Oh no, we leaving tomorrow." She's like, "Oh, we can catch up tonight." She ain't taking no for an answer. Charlie's not taking no for an answer. And the girl says, the lady says, okay, well, Charlie says, "See you then." Hangs up. She desperate. She desperate to prove something. And let me see Aunt Vi and Ralph Angel. Aunt Vi come in. Ralph Angel sitting at the table, sulking, thinking things over. Aunt Vi comes in with a pan. And she got her party hair on and one of her cute little dresses. And he said, she's, she said, "Hey, Ralph Angel." And he was like, "What you got there?" "I just thought I'd bring you something. You sure it ain't for Hollywood?" Well, I did see his truck over here the other day. I wondered why he didn't come and speak to me. I thought I'd stop by and say hi. And Ralph Angel says, yeah. She said, "Well, I thought he wasn't supposed to be back until Saturday." And he said, "Well, he been here all week." He got back a few days ago. She was like, "He got back a few days ago and he didn't come by and see me." So, uh, Ralph Angel, still don't catch on. Hollywood come around that corner. He see online. He's so happy to see her, and she say, "You been back almost a week?" And he said, "Wait now, Vi, let me explain." And she said, "Don't bother." And she took that macaroni and cheese out with her. The same plate she came in there with, she took it back out and then threw it in the trash. What? Um, and Hollywood is just frustrated. He's just plus. I mean, he's watching her get in the car and peel off and shoot all that dust up in his face, and he's like, "God, dog." And Ralph Angel said, "Don't seem like we played that right." And Hollywood said, um." Ralph Angel said, I feel like we played it wrong." Hollywood said, "Well, we sure didn't play it right." And he, damn it, goes back in the house. He's really, really trying with Vi. I'm disappointed in Vi because just the way he acts when he sees her, the excitement and joy he has in his face when he sees her, ought to be enough to make her feel loved. I don't know. But when you so blind with hurt and just pain, it can block. It can put the blinders on you, I guess. Um, then we see Charlie talking to Leanne. They at having drinks and they chit chatting and talking. And so next we see Charlie meeting with Leanne, Felix's wife. She meets with Leanne, and Leanne's asking her about Davis. What's going on with you and Davis? What's happening with that? Charlie don't really want to talk about all that. She really want to, feel her out and see if she can get her and Felix to pair up with Davis. You know, they a good team. Why don't they both work together? So cut to Remy. He on the front porch with the flowers and a beautiful suit coat on, calling Charlie. The phone ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing. She finally pick up. Of course, she's having drinks and blackmail with Leanne, and he's like, so you stood me up. She's like, oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Please forgive me. And, you know, she's like, let's rain check. I got into something. And he hears in the background. He tells her, okay, we can rain check. Definitely for sure. You know, I'm here on your front stoop. And, damn if I don't look good. She like, okay, let's rain check. So, he agrees and he hears in the background and she, is out already. He's like, no, you stood me up. I don't know, you stood me up, right? And she's like, oh, please, I'll make it up to you. He's like, yeah, you sure will. That's exactly what you gonna do. Charlie. She hangs up the phone, goes back to talk to Leanne. And Leanne's like, oh, who was that? And she was like, friend, a male friend. And Charlie kind of smiles. I was like, and Leanne is like, yeah. We thinking about what we gonna do. We never know. And woo. What's going on with you and Davis? And she's like, Charlie's like, I don't think I can. And she's like, well, you guys were such a fairy tale couple. Don't you think you could work it out? And Charlie's like, I I will never be able to forgive him for this. And she was like, well, I don't understand why you would. I don't understand why you would feel this way, Charlie. I mean, just because this woman tried to extort money from our husbands, that wasn't his fault. And she's like, Charlie's like, so you never talked to the woman? You don't know what jumped off, really? Yeah, so you never talked to the woman? You don't know what happened, really? And she's like, well, no, I mean, and it was like at that moment that Charlie realized that she had no knowledge about what really went on. Something clicked with her. I mean, something switched in her. First of all, I think she was slightly offended that this woman was still with her husband. One. And two, um, I think Charlie is so full of this tunnel vision that she has about winning that that side of her, that corporate ruthless side of her just took over, and she takes a breath and tells this woman, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna convince your husband you're gonna spend it and tell him you want to be close to your family. Okay. And you are going to convince him to sign on with the Stingers. Okay. And the woman's like, are you threatening me? I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you it's all about your husband's reputation. I will not be blackmailed. She said, oh, you will. Well, I will release the tape that I have of this woman retelling what really happened in that hotel room. And not only will it ruin his chances with the Knicks, but it'll ruin his career. And that, my dear, will also ruin your fairy tale. The woman is crushed. She's stunned. Now, mind you, this was the same woman that snubbed her, if I'm not mistaken, when um Charlie called her after everything happened with Davis. Initially, Charlie called her and she was snubbing Charlie and acting like she didn't want to be bothered. So listen, you better than this, Charlie. You better than this. Why would you do this? You can't step on a baby's head to pick a rose, Charlie. Come on. Oh my gosh. Just shocked that she would take this approach, that she's going this hard to get what she wants because she has to know that whatever she gets using these tactics is not going to last. Um, I don't know. Anyway, so we see Aunt Vi back at the High Yellow, and Roberta there with her hot tail, and she talking to a girl, and Vi telling me y'all need to get back to work, and Roberta tells her, listen, you need to get up and get out and shake your tail feather and try to get over Hollywood, because this whole vibe you got going on is not cool. It's not cute. She was like, I don't need to do anything. That's why she was like, no, you need to get out. Come on, go with us tonight to the juke. And at the same time, she talking about the juke, a delivery man come in the door. He be like, what y'all know about the juke? She's like, what you know about the juke? That's what Roberta say. Vi just standing there. And he started talking about the juke, and he decided he going to the juke tonight too. And come on, with me, you. Yeah, me and you, I've been feeling you for a while. I've been looking at you. That's what he. Roberta's like, yeah, come on back, get your groove back. Anyway, we see Nova, and Nova done thought up this ruse to get into the DA's office. She gets in there and she tells him it's a ruse. She really want to talk to him about Too Sweet case. Why is it taking so long for Too Sweet to get a court date, to get before a judge so he can put all this stuff behind him? And the guy tells him, listen, look around you. Look around you, boo. All these files stacked up. He is under the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the stack. And we don't have the money. We don't have the manpower. It's a lot of people in limbo. He might not get a case for the next 2 years. And she's like, that's inhumane. He don't get a case. He doesn't. How is he expected to move on with his life if he can't get a court date? And he's like, that's the system. That's the system. And he's not flipping her off. He's not telling her like he just don't care. He telling her like, I get it, but my hands are tied. This is the situation, okay? Um Now the DA is in a wheelchair. Now I'm not sure if he's in a wheelchair just for the show. What purpose would that serve though? Like it don't, or if he's in a wheelchair because this is an actor who is physically disabled. Um, I think he's an actor who is physically disabled, and Ava, Oprah, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, yeah. Diversity. Um, so the guy says it's purgatory for all of us. Then we see Hollywood and Ralph Angel. Um, Boy, they drinking and commiserating and talking there. Here Hollywood is like, it ain't like I ain't been good to Vi. I've been real good to Vi. I done show her love. And Ralph Angel like, I know, man. I know you. Knock at the door is Boogie. Boogie want to go out. Prior to this, right before Boogie knocked on the door, Hollywood say enough about me to Ralph Angel. What about you and Dollar? Now, cause Dollar over there all the time now. She went from taking Blue to school Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to the damn near staying there. Damn near. And he tell her, he said, I ain't seen you this caught up since Hush was a pup, which I thought was cute. Or Tater was a tie. Okay, Hollywood. Ooh, I wanna kiss him. Anyway, um, and then we see, Ralph Angel say, well, nah, ain't nothing to it, we just one, I don't Boogie comes in, Boogie wanna go out. It's gonna be bad, y'all. Ralph Angel tell Hollywood like, nah, I don't wanna go out, I don't wanna do anything. Ralph Angel say, we going out. Okay, y'all, this gonna be bad, right? Right? Uh-huh. So, they all go out. They head out to the jug joint. Now, I invite already at the jug joint. She didn't have her light beverage. Roberta dancing. We see the delivery man come over and give Aunt Vi a bottle of water. She cool off with that bottle of water and then get out there on that dance floor and start dancing. She just having a good time, letting her hair down, relaxing a little bit, No big deal. Boogie Ralph Angel Hollywood come in. Hollywood immediately see Aunt Vi out there dancing. He don't just see Aunt Vi out there dancing and having a good time. He see Aunt Vi breaking it down. Da, 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 da. And he sees the guy, kind of holding a, holding his girl like he hold his girl. Hollywood leaves. Ralph Angel like, no, 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 wait. Hollywood leaves. Ralph Angel leave with him. Just a little bit after that, Aunt Vi stops dancing and she's like, I'm out. I gotta go. Now she don't know that Hollywood's seeing her. She don't know nothing about all that. She telling this man, the man like, come on back to my place. I got drinks over there. And she's like, I'm going home, get in my bed, and I'm doing all of that alone. She just wanted to come out for a minute and dance a little bit and just see what's what. She ain't interested in trying to replace Hollywood right now. She still love Hollywood. Of course, she wouldn't have got mad about him being back without coming to see her if she didn't love him. I just wish everybody could see. Everybody could step outside the situation and see. You know, Hollywood should have went over and said something to her because she wouldn't have got mad at you, Hollywood, if she didn't care about you. Y'all, come on, stop doing this and get back together. Hmm. Then we see Nova at her famous uh round table kind of sort of, it's more like a seminar type thing. And she's there with Melissa Perry Harris, who is her soror. And Nova looks so pretty, y'all. And she's talking very eloquently, very intelligent, looks out of all this, and she see old Calvin. And Calvin look fine, y'all. Calvin is a fine Caucasian. He ain't no Peckerwood. No sirree, Bob. He looked good. And she sees him. Melissa Perry Harris is questioning and talking to Nova about a bevy of things. Um, the justice system, black youth. She mentions Too Sweet. Nova talks about Too Sweet in the situation and how unfortunate it is about the lack of manpower and lack of money in the DA's office. And Um, and just tells the story. Melissa Perry just says, hey, listen, the charges that Too Sweet have against him are very, very serious, and they're very, very serious charges. And Nova's like, yeah, they would be serious if they were true. Um, and finally, she asked her about the Black Lives Matter movement, and Nova did such a beautiful job, kind of summing up, how the movement started and what the basis of it is, and then very eloquently talks about how it's unfortunate when you say Black Lives Matter, um, people make it out to appear that we're saying at the same time that white lives don't matter, and it's not that at all, and she expressed that she believes there's some really, really good people out there, police officers out there, who would certainly work with the community in supporting and protecting African Americans. And she looks right at Calvin. And she says there's some good people out there, and I know personally for a fact that that's true. And she's looking at Calvin, and it's cute. Then we see Kiki and Micah studying, and I forgot to mention too that Melissa Perry Harris said something really, really key when she talked about what Too Sweet went through in being in an adult prison as a juvenile was a form of PTSD that people don't really talk about. I thought that was really, really interesting because I was kind of talking about it a little bit with one of my subbies, Badu, and referencing I can't think of the young gentleman's name, and I don't have my cell phone. The one who killed himself. I should know his name. I should remember his name. And I kind of feel like I'm being disrespectful for not remembering his name, so I'm gonna get that information and put it above. Who killed himself after having been in, I think, Rikers Island for 2 years without a trial. And I think that current event story is where all of this Too Sweet story was built around, or that Too Sweet story speaks to that. So um I never really thought about PTSD. Whenever you hear PTSD, um you think about people who've been in war. Um but the notion of it hit me like a ton of bricks. It did. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we see Kiki and Micah, and they're studying, and Charlie comes in, and as she's coming in the door, she gets a text from Davis, and he wants to know, where is Michael? What's going on with Michael? I've been calling him, I've been texting him, he not answering. And so she looks at it, and you could just see that same look she got on her face before she blackmailed Leanne. She had it on her face again. Michael stands up, he and Kiki, and they've got two other kids. Another girl that, which is Kiki's friend, and a guy, Caesar, I think his name. And you know, Kiki and her friend are just enamored with Charlie. I follow you on Instagram, and your style is just beautiful. It's so great and awesome and wow. And they just all googly eyed over Charlie. Um, Charlie tells Mike it's getting late. He was like, yeah, we got a couple of more problems and we'll wrap it up. So she went on, goes inside in her room, and gets on the phone with Davis, calls Davis and talks to him, and tells Davis that he needs to get down there ASAP because Micah is acting out. She can't control him, and he needs to get there quickly. Now, we all know that that's a lie. And I'm going to tell you something. This ain't going to be good, Charlie. What about Remy? Have you thought about at all what this behavior, your talking, Davis in the coming and staying and working and being a part of the singers and living in Louisiana, have you even remotely thought about how this is going to affect your relationship with Remy? I'm ashamed of Charlie. I'm ashamed of Charlie. You can't win doing wrong. You can't win lying. You can't win scheming. I don't care how it look when other people do it, how it seems. Nothing good is gonna come of this. I'm sorry. Nothing good is gonna come of this. Super disappointed in Charlie. She's like, oh, I'm worried about Michael. And I just don't know. I just, you got to get down here. He needs you here. He needs you here right now. Just lying. Just lying. So you lying, you blackmailing, you underhanded, you using people. How you gonna win if you ain't right within, Charlie? How you gonna win if you ain't right within? Shout out to Lauren Hill. Then we see Hollywood. He's anxious. He's sad. Ralph Angel drunk as hell in there talking to Darla, and he stumbles in there. And Darla don't drink no more. You want to finish this drink? And if you don't take your Hollywood is leaving. He feels bad. He feels hopeless. He feel like it's over between him and Val. She really don't want to be with me. Okay, so he gonna leave and go back and get see if he can pull an extra shift on the rig. And also he talking about getting an apartment. Ain't no reason coming back down here no more. Since him and Vi ain't together. Ain't no reason for him coming down there to stay. He might as well stay out there where the rig is. um Ralph, I just tell him, listen, my door's always open to you. And Hollywood says, no, you got a new life now. You got a new life now. I'm not gonna stay here. And he new life, he mean Darla. Next we see Ralph Angel walking Hollywood out to get in the car, um, with his bags and all that, and he tells Ralph Angel, if my divorce papers come here, give me a call. And Ralph Angel say, would you sure you want to leave? And Hollywood say, this is for the best. And he told him, he said, you gonna always be my uncle. And then he tells Hollywood he loves him. I love you, Wood. And Hollywood say, I love you too, man. They a family. Bye. Hollywood. We a family. Ralph Angel sad. Then we see Ralph Angel with Dollar. Dollar getting her coat like she leaving, like she going home. Ralph Angel grabs her hand, stops her. And he said, well, I don't want you to leave. She's like, what about Hollywood? Hollywood moved out today. We had a place all to ourselves, is what he said. She kisses him. Um, so they kiss and all of that, and Ralph Angel leads on off to the bedroom. So let me just say this: I don't like Darla. I've said it before, but as she was kissing Ralph Angel, and he was kissing her, I thought to myself, you know, how wonderful it is, and how beautiful forgiveness of the human spirit is. And I say this because this woman been out on the street, you know what I'm saying? Like hoeing for drugs and money. You know what I'm saying? And for him to be able to overcome that and see past that and still want to be with her and still feel a measure of affection towards her, I think is wonderful. I think it speaks a lot about um, the power of forgiveness. Um, then we see Nova. Nova get a phone call. Guess who it is, y'all? Who could it be? Old fine ass Calvin. Hello, beautiful. I was like, oh, hey. She was like, hey, Cal. He said, you look dazzling on stage. I was like, ooh, thank you. He said it's been too long. And he tells her that he looks into Too Sweet case and there's insufficient evidence and all the charges have been dropped. And she says, oh, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. How can I thank you? And he says, I love you. And she said, we can't. But I know when she got that I love you, she was like, I could tell it wasn't her first time hearing it, but I could tell she loves hearing it. And he says, she says, we can't keep doing this. I can't just keep going through this. I get broken over and over again, and my heart gets broken. She said, I miss you, but she said, I can't share you anymore. I have to move on. um, she said, you're not mine to have. And he said, I left my wife. You said, what now? He said, I left my wife. Wow. That's where the show ends. But let me say this. How do I feel about this situation? How do I feel about this married man leaving his wife? I mean, we saw that he has two small children. It just don't seem like a a real good way to come across a man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mm-mm. It don't look like this gonna end good either. I'm gonna be honest with you. How you get a man is how you lose a man, in my personal experience. So yeah. Um, Next week is the season finale, um, which means I did the math. Excited about the season finale. I think it's gonna be a doozy. Sad because I love this show. I want to see what happens next. Um, but I'm also excited because we're going into holiday and I need a break, you know. Um, but I really, 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 really am gonna miss this show while it's on hiatus. It's 29 episodes in total. This season one had 13 episodes, which means there is 16 episodes remaining. I'm assuming those are for season two. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I want to know what you guys think about um Evil Charlie 2.0 and Calvin and Nova. What about Calvin leaving his wife, y'all? What is up? I mean, it's good news, but it ain't good news. Okay, what y'all think about Dollar? Huh? What y'all think about Dollar? Let me know, y'all. Put it in comments below. Don't forget to like this video and share it. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We would love to have you. And until next time, honeybees, I'll holla. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Yay!